I mean, regardless of the situation, bro, you gotta be great. You gotta go get what's yours. You gotta go explore. You gotta hit the road. You gotta travel. You gotta go speak. You know? Ain't nobody else gonna give us what we want but us. I mean, we gotta utilize what we have in this world to obtain what we need and we want. So, in order for us to do that, we gotta tap into what God has given us.
How you guys feeling? You guys good? Okay, who's tired? Okay, yeah.
Oh,
We had
if
a.
you needed it's on. It's on now.
It's on now?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we had a 4-hour and 30-minute drive. We left around 2 o'clock in the morning, so I can relate. But we're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be full of energy. It's gonna be full of. We're gonna engage with one another, and we're just gonna have a good time. This is not class. This is not class. Again, I repeat. I'm a college student too. I'm a senior at Norfolk State. I'm a communications major, so I know how that can be when you go to a conference and the speaker or what have you, you would think that you're in class. It's as much information that he's presenting or just what's going on in the conference. So, you guys ready to have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah? Man, y'all sleepy, man. Wake up. Y'all ready to have a good time?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Number one, thank you all for having me. Once again, thank Mrs. Gail and Dr. Seeger. My name is Kwame Knight. I'm a sociology major at Norfolk State University. Graduating senior May 5th. I'm also a psychology minor. I'm an RA as well. I've been RN for 3 years. I just recently tapped into a minor in psychology based off some experiences that I had as an RA. Caleb can pretty much tell you, have anybody in RA by chance? So you understand the struggle. So basically, me and Caleb, the way that we got here today was just through RN. We had to come up with programming, which pretty much all of you guys are aware of. Some type of program, some type of activity to keep the students involved campus-wide. So me and Caleb came up with a mentorship program in which we started studying the difference between theoretical and practical learning skills. So, with that being said, we're gonna test some of you guys' intuition through your actions today.
Yeah. So you know how I said it's gonna be fun? It's definitely gonna be fun. And we're not gonna sit up here and bore you guys with our life stories. We're gonna go ahead and get started. First of all, ground rules. The moment you guys walked in that door, you're safe. You're safe to express yourself. You're safe to be whoever you are. There's nobody's casting any judgment on anybody. The moment you guys walk through those doors, that's the first rule. The second rule is have fun. Have fun. Please have fun. Have positive energy. Engage with one another. If you already know each other, engage with people that you have not met yet. Third and lastly, know why you're here. Understand the reason why you're here. And the reason more so is not just in the title within itself. You really have to look in the mirror and ask yourself why you're here. If you're here to learn more about what it means to be more diverse or what it means to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, do that. Learn as much as you can. Ask questions. I don't know everything. I'm going to be asking you guys some questions, okay? So, those are the ground rules, and you ready?
Yep.
We're going to get started.
So, can I get those hands for those who said they were bored again? Don't all raise them at once.
You say that again?
We had some that was tired of bored this morning, right?
Yeah, nobody's bored, but we have people that's tired. Raise your hands if you're tired again. Don't be shy.
Oh, that's two?
2 or 3, okay.
All right, look, be real.
Can I have those 1, 2, 3, 4, and Dr. Seeger, can I have those 5?
Yeah, just come to the front of the hall. And if you guys are in the back, you might want to scoot up because the activity we're doing, you might not be able to see from back there, or you don't have to scoot up if you don't want to.
You all come to this side. Alright, so quick question for you guys while he set up. What is trust? Can I get a hand to answer that? It's a simple question.
I would say trust is the ability to submit to someone else other than yourself.
Shoulder or shoulders?
Anybody want to add on? Okay. Is trust visible? Sometimes?
No, I don't think so. It's not really visible.
Absolutely.
Why you think it's sometimes?
I mean, like, by seeing someone you can know, some people you just meet the first date, but you just know you can trust them. And so I can't say it's like really visible, but just being comfortable around some people, like you can just click with someone like this, and you guys become friends for life. So I think that's the trust or the whatever you see in them. I think that's trust really, being comfortable around people and being able to like express yourself comfortably.
And why did you come?
I say trust isn't visible is because if it was, we would be able to pick up on it like way faster, way easier. But sometimes I feel as though it always doesn't present itself in the way that we wish it would. So when we look for trust, it's like we really got to dig deep within ourselves to realize like, why do I trust the next person? And then it's more so of going into faith. So now I have to have faith that I can trust you, because at any time you never know that trust can be lost. But you also have to remind yourself you can't worry about things that you can't control. So it's like you're going out on a limb, because you never know, am I really able to trust someone and confide in that person and submit to them, or will that person at the end of the day burn that bridge and then you'll end up hurting yourself?
I also think like sometimes it depends on like action-wise too as well, because just looking at the face of someone, like will you catch me? And the person you're looking at someone, just the look like I don't think you should jump. Like that's I think it's visible. Just being honest, like if you're trying to jump, like oh catch me, and they have like this resistance towards it, I don't think you should trust the person, even if maybe truly they do have a good personality that you can trust. So I don't think that's my perspective.
So, you two, I can come back to you guys after this. This activity is a trust walk. So basically, I will go into what this trust walk would mean, and we'll transition more into
with certain amount of pain, or they show me that they're not worthy of being trusted. You understand? But the main thing is trusting people, even though they mess up, because we all make mistakes, and that's what makes them human. You understand? And if you can't trust people that you can relate to, how can you trust anybody that's different? And we're all here for one reason. We're all here for one common goal. And ultimately, trust is essential. It's the foundation in which we're going to achieve those goals.
Each cup represents a certain obstacle.
Your left foot,
Okay? Each cup is an obstacle.
up a little bit more.
And we're
Back.
going to avoid
Put it down.
cups.
Yep, perfect. Okay.
It was 3 cups knocked down, and they finished in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So we at 3:45. Okay. So who was the leader? How was it for you?
Okay, so I have a really hard time trusting people. I was a correctional officer for a long time, and that's trusting people. You got really close with the people you were working with, and you had to trust them, but everybody else, there was no trust. So it's really hard for me to trust people that I don't know, and I really had to trust who's behind me. Yeah, I really had to trust her because she was not only touching me, which I'm kind of iffy about, but she had to basically tell me where to go, and everybody else in line had to tell me where to go. So it's kind of stressful for me, but it was nice because she kept calm, which also kept me calm too. But it was very difficult.
Appreciate you.
Was anybody else staggered a little different than forward? Was anybody else, Caleb, or we just had one person? Oh,
We had one person, but
Before she answers, y'all give her a round of applause.
appreciate you.
Do I have to speak about my time now?
Yes, ma'am. How did you feel?
I really just wanted to look down. Because I don't know. I like to do things for myself. So it's hard sometimes to let other people tell me how to, like, not how to do things, but like to let other people do things for me.
So you're independent more so than okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I just didn't like the fact that I only had like one perspective, because I would like to look at things from different angles. So the fact that, I was just looking a certain way and I couldn't look down, it just it didn't feel right. So that was it. Yeah.
You remember those 2 questions I asked you earlier?
Yeah.
Can you respond to those? Earlier, when we had the team up here volunteering for the activity, I had asked
Chuck.
I had asked Chuck what was trust, and I asked Chuck was trust invisible. Give me some of the feedback that you got from that based on the answers that you gave.
Feedback or my actual answers?
A little both, just kind of talented.
All right, so this one. Yeah, so when asked, like, what is trust, I said the ability to be able to submit to someone else other than yourself. And then when asked, was trust visible, I said no. Reason being is because sometimes if trust was visible, we would have an easier time in allowing ourselves to submit to others. And it would be visible where we wouldn't even have to question, should I trust this person? But then trust goes into a situation where we have to have faith. You gotta have faith where you can trust someone, because at the end of the day, having faith that you can trust an individual can be the best thing that you ever had. It can lead you into the right direction. It can make you feel genuine. It can take you to your highest peak. But then also, what may seem to be trustworthy, or someone who may seem to be trustworthy, they may break that trust and it may break you. So in a sense, you never know. You have to just go out on a limb. You have to take the opportunity to take a chance. And that's really all life is just chances. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But if you don't win, you have the ability to get yourself back up and then keep climbing back to the top.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Round of applause.
Round of applause as well.
I have one more. All right, can you just give me a before and after feedback of what you thought and everything now?
Okay. I actually thought first was visible, and just looking at it, I still think it's visible because we could see that he even said he likes to see things from different perspectives, and just the fact that he just wanted to look down alone, like, and she trusted her enough to direct her, but at the same time, she still had doubts within her. So, like, I think it's visible. I don't remember what I said the last time. I was just talking out of. yeah. But I still think it's visible. It's not change. I mean, it's about communication as well, but you want to see visibility. So, and that's one of the elements of trust. That's just my.
So you're associating trust with comfort?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so was this activity diverse? Was it any diversity in this activity?
Yes, ma'am.
You can probably hear me, but I think there was diversity in the activity, just being going off of kind of what he said about him only having one perspective. And in life, people have different perspectives, and in that line, we were all kind of seeing a different perspective. That was all built into that line and into that activity, so yes, I think it was diverse.
Based on perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any other?
Dr. Seeger?
I think there was also different strengths and talents brought into this. So, for example, I felt like Maddie had a degree of, it may not have been comfortable, but certainly had a degree of ability to listen and to guide her foot where it needed to be, and also the ability to take the direction. So I think we all brought different strengths and talents, and those strengths and talents were necessary based on where we were. So I make a good anchor, just for the record.
And pretty much they hit it on the hit everything on top of the nail. Diversity is just your perception based on your experience. So it didn't matter who was up there, whether I chose 5 black, 5 Asian, 5 white. Their experience made them diverse. Their experience of what they went through this made them diverse. Not the color of their skin, not their cultural background. It's their experience. So when you go into different things, like for example, the trust thing, it's hard to really explore your diversity when you struggle with trust. Like, think about it. If this is you from the time you're born to your current life, how many times did somebody tell you what not to do? And you done it, just simply because you didn't listen. Now, we can play equity into it. Was it fair? No. But at the same time, it was others before you that had to watch your experience to show you what was needed. So in typical activity, the leader will hit the most cups in typical activity. And everybody behind her will probably hit less cups. But she will have more to tell, more to explain, because she has experienced more by not what? Listening, trust. Trust is logical way more than it is emotional. We get hurt by trust, we put our guard up. We're in a defense mechanism. But how can we really open up logically about trust?
And even concerning trust, you guys, diversity is not just a white or black situation. It's based on experiences and perspectives. It's based on how you think, how you speak, how you act, how you walk, how you talk. It's everything. It's not just skin. It's not just skin color. Excuse me. It's not just black and white. Or it's not if I'm from Ethiopia or if I'm from America. It's not just that base. It's so broad. But in order to truly understand diversity, you guys have to do this. Exactly what I'm doing now. Stepping outside of my shoes, my own shoes, and stepping into another person's shoes who may be different. You see what I have on. I don't have a suit and tie on. I don't have any of that stuff. I have my hat indoors. I'm different. Who's willing to appreciate that? Who's willing to step out of their own shoes and step into my shoes and see what my perspective is? And a lot of times we have to do that. We have to if we want to truly understand the people that are different from us. I can't understand you if all I'm thinking about is myself. Like I'm a millennial as well. I'm 23 years old. My generation will be selfish. No, I'm done. This is the selfie era. We take selfies. Very few do we turn the camera around and say, hey, let's take a picture together. And not even knowing the person. We say, I don't know you like that. That's what we do. That's what we do. And you do that not based on race or color. You do that based on how different that person is. You can have somebody the same complexion or the same race as you, and you guys are different. That's why I have the PowerPoint picture of Skittles. Who likes Skittles? I love Skittles. Come on. Marshall Lynch. That's why I have Skittles. Each flavor is different. Each flavor is different. But they all in the what? Same bag.
Okay.
We're all it's all candy. We're all different, but we're all in the same world. We're all at the same school, some of us. We're all here. But can we realize that we are different and appreciate that versus criticizing it, versus excluding it, and not being as inclusive as we should be? Should we ignore it or should we more so embrace it, no matter how uncomfortable we may be? No matter how uncomfortable you may be. You have to embrace what is comfortable. Because true success or true change comes from a person who's able to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. And not to put too much on you guys, but that's just a perspective. That's just my perspective, and that's just another way to look at things. You don't have to, but I'm challenging you to. I'm encouraging you to look at things in that way, which is everyone is different. I may be a grape Skittle, but I'm different. But at the same token, we're all human, and we all have to find that common ground. I'm gonna put my shoes back on. That was only a description or an example. But if you don't take anything else from today, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. When referring to diversity, when you want to understand someone else, when you understand somebody that's different, put yourself in their shoes. because you never know what that person has went through. They may have been through the same experiences as you, but you would never know that. If you're just here, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I'm gonna be in my own shoes. No, life is too short for that. Life is way too short for that. We have to live to our fullest potential. We have to. And the only way to do that is understanding that we're all different, but we're all one and the same. We're all different, but we're all human. And embracing it, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. And the first step to that, you have to have some form of trust. I have trust issues too, just like Drake said. The song Trust Issues, I got trust issues too. But every day I embrace it. I speak to people I don't know. And that's something, you guys might be surprised based on me speaking now, but I had a speech impediment when I was younger, and I had a hard time articulating my words. You could base it on education, you could base it on whatever, but I did not know how to articulate certain words. I struggled with it. What I started doing, what I had to do that made me uncomfortable, I had to start speaking more. I go to a HBCU, just being honest. It's cool. I love being around my people, but I have to put myself outside of my comfort zone. I have to experience other races and experience being around other people.
Through the activity, the fairness showed itself, the equity. You had some that was facing backwards through the activity. You had some that was sideways. And you had some that was forward. Those are the different staggers that are gray areas to us. And we choose not to identify because we don't exercise our diversity. So why would I want to be intelligent and work in my own interior when I can be brilliant and bond with others and mesh with others to the point where everything's cohesive? Why would I go to Caleb and a whole other realm of people of my culture when I'm only boxing those ideas in? Those ideas only limit themselves because our experiences are not too far from each other. It's our upbringing that changes that stagger. That's why some of these things are tailored. But some of these things are not just tailored in the household. They're tailored in the community. They're tailored in the classrooms. They're tailored in different institutions. Like hospitals, churches, there are different type of staggers in equity. So when you approach these things, you have to be very cognitive of what's going on. You have to really have that outgoing spirit or that mentality that you're open to different things. Because if you're not, you're already being unfair. You're already being unfair. Like, how do you expect to really strive in life being emotionally trustworthy or emotionally trying to diverse with others? You can't do that. Because every semester that we find people do that, right or wrong, Caleb, since we've been RN, those same people that diverse themselves with everyone that like them, somebody in that group goes home every semester. It don't gotta be school, from the neighborhood I'm from. I came up with 14 siblings. I'm the oldest sibling, first generation student. So this was me. It was so much stuff that happened to me that I felt was unfair. But it made sense. It made sense that I was down here. I was at my lowest. Some of the things that I went to put me at my lowest so that my brothers and sisters can stand on my shoulders. That meant something to me. It still means something to me. And it'll probably mean something to me once I die, and that meaning will be passed to the next sibling. I'm trying to build a dynasty, not just in my family. But I know that would be hard trying to monitor 14 other siblings that are not even in my age realm, they're not really in my bracket mentally, to really understand and be cohesive with where I'm going. So I'm basing off them trusting me emotionally to understand where I'm at. Because by the time, they're selfish, they don't want to listen. By the time they hit their head, it's not going to be a Band-Aid no more. You're going to need stitches. So for me, that was equity is. What you got, kid?
Yeah, honestly, you guys, looking at this picture, is this situation fair? Being that they're racing, is it fair? We'll all say it's fair, right? All right, check this out. Hypothetically speaking, if I had one bag of Skittles, since I had Skittles on the PowerPoint, I had one bag of Skittles, and I had to share with everyone in this room. I had to share with if it was 50 to 60 people in this room, I had to share with everyone, right? So say if I gave only, say this side of the room, a handful of Skittles to the point where this side of the room didn't have any Skittles, would that be fair? No? Why? You want some Skittles?
Yeah, what's it?
Come on, that side.
That's it. Is that it? Just because you want some Skittles? Is that why it wouldn't be fair? You said because you guys wouldn't have none, right? All right. So what would be the ideal situation when it comes to making sure that everyone gets a piece or gets some of the Skittles?
You're not getting none.
No. No. that was pretty good, but no, that's not it. The ideal situation is at least making sure that everyone at least get one Skittle, right? Right? Just to be what? Fair, right? Because if you don't, 9 times out of 10, this is usually what happens. This is usually what happens when someone gets left out based on their circumstance. And remind you, this is equality, and that is equity. So my mans, what's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
Oh, Alejandro.
Alejandro?
Alejandro. Like the Lady Gaga song?
Yeah. Alejandro, you is spot on when he asked you what is equity. That's why I asked you, did you Google this? You Google it, but it's okay. But give people what they need based on their circumstance or based on their condition. You have to give them what they need based on their circumstance or based on their condition. Because everyone in life, we're all on different levels. Meek Mills, there's levels to it. Anybody in the fans? Okay, don't worry about it. It's levels to it. Some people in this room are on a whole nother level than I am, right? And that may be cool, but the main thing is making sure that no one is left out. No one is left out. That's the main aspect of being not equal with one another, but that's the main concept of the term equity. It's making sure that everyone has what they need based on their condition. But you guys, we don't want to keep boring you guys because I feel like the energy kind of shifted a little bit and it got more serious. But put yourself in another person's shoes. Honestly. At the end of the day. Because you can tell somebody all you want. You can talk until your face turns blue. They will not understand you. You can show them. Sometimes they still will never understand you. But if you involve them, if you step outside of your comfort zone and you go to where they are, they will understand everything that you may be trying to say to them. They'll be understanding everything. And it is solely your responsibility to do that and make that happen. But don't do it based on how comfortable you are. Do it because you know it's the right thing to do. And I challenge you guys to do that as well. I challenge you when it comes to this. Not to feel sorry for people. No, don't feel sorry. Just try to understand. I don't want to take off my shoes again. I don't, but step outside your shoes, man. Anything you?
Yeah, pretty much what Caleb said. Step out of your shoe. Not just your shoe, your sock. Don't leave no cushion to understand, to not want to understand. I'm pretty sure that this foot on the right is so much more durable and strong than that foot on the left. That foot hasn't experienced no hardship. That foot, even in grass is a shoe on. That's dirt and gravel.
Ash too.
Little ash.
Little ash. Little ash. Can
But-
y'all see it? Can you guys see it? In the back?
So it's important. Would you really, deep down in your heart, walk past somebody with a sock and a shoe on your foot and leave them like that? That last picture spoke a lot of volume. You gotta give building blocks. All you can do to a person is give them information. Everything else is self-inflicted. Whether it's pain, whether it's stress, it's your instinct to burn. Make sure you keep that fire. That's all I got.
And Dr. Siegel, we thank you again. We thank all you guys for coming as well. We hope not only it was informational, but inspirational, life-changing, as well as as well as we hope that you guys receive the true value of what we were truly giving you guys, which is just a matter of perspective and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. And sometimes you have to step out of your own shoes to truly understand someone else. And all these things is based on what? Trust, communication. You see what I'm saying? And being interactive with different people. It's all based on that. But that's all we have for right now. But if you guys have any questions, criticisms, or gripes, we're all ears. We appreciate you guys.